you, Madam Speaker. This is absolutely not an omnibus bill. This brings together 4 pieces of legislation that are interconnected. You can't look at how we're going to protect our environment, protect our fisheries, make sure that we work in partnership with Indigenous peoples, and also ensure that good projects go ahead without bringing coherence. This is what's very clear in my mandate letter. It said that it was discussed in our platform. It was clear in the interim principles that this was the approach. And when I heard from people, that's what they wanted. When I heard from Canadians, they expected us to bring it all together, and that's what we've done. I certainly, as I say, there was consultations over 14 months. We introduced the interim principles in January 2016. We've been at this for a long time. We had an expert panel report. My colleagues had expert panel reports or parliamentary committees. We brought together all of this through a discussion paper. We did more consultations, and now I'm very pleased that it's going to go to the parliamentary committee, and I will be there to answer any questions on the bill. We also need to hear from witnesses, and we need to do clause by clause, and this is exactly the way we are moving forward on this.
And comments? The honourable member for Saanich Gulf Islands.
Madam Speaker, I must say I'm astonished that the minister is so unfamiliar with the content of the bill she is attempting to rush through the House on this day. This is an omnibus bill, but it is not, as she claims, a bill that brings together 4 pieces of legislation. If she was aware, Bill C-68 is the Fisheries Act. It wasn't lumped together with C-69, which is an omnibus bill and requires proper study and is offensive to this place. If it was good legislation, I might get behind rushing it through. But it is decidedly not good legislation, and it must not be rushed. C-68, the Fisheries Act, is good legislation. And the Fisheries Minister, lucky for him, doesn't have to wear the rest of this package of hybrid Harper Liberal strategies to make a mess of our environmental assessment. But I asked the minister this. Here's some gender analysis on this day that we're expecting a gender budget. How is it that an omnibus bill, including legislation that would normally be presented by the male Minister of Transportation, and another piece of legislation that would normally be presented by the male Minister of Natural Resources, why do you suppose they picked the Minister of Environment and Climate Change to wear the whole thing? They're eroding her political capital by having an omnibus bill where she's the only target. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honourable Minister of Environment and Climate Change.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm very pleased to be the one that's introducing this legislation. The environment and the economy go together. I am pleased that I'm a strong woman in doing that. I'm also pleased that we have a gender-based analysis. So for any major project that goes ahead, we need to have a gender-based analysis. We've said that that is part of the approach our government is taking. I'm actually very excited today because we know that there's going to be a gender focus in the bill. Let's be clear that there is coherence, that the major projects that impact on fish will also be captured by this. This is a really important piece of legislation, and I really appreciate the member opposite's commitment to the environment, understanding that we need to make progress on ensuring that good projects go ahead in a way that protects our waters, that protects our environment, our fish, and that also ensures that we regain public trust and respect Indigenous rights. And I certainly hope that she'll be actively engaged through the committee process.